Just like humans, when our pets are sick or injured, they sometimes need to be given intravenous fluids. But a major stumbling block for veterinarians can be successfully administering the needed fluids to patients that are moving because they're scared and confused. According to an industry statistic, over 75% of animal patients fail to receive proper IV fluid therapy and medications, which dramatically increases their risk for serious disease complications and death.
When we use conventional tubing, what often happens is if the patient is too active or is moving around in the cage or even has multiple lines running at one time, they start to get kinked. And it becomes a challenge nursing-wise to be able to keep those lines untangled so the animal can complete his fluid therapy. Whenever we have critical patients or patients that are being treated for trauma, it's important that we have IV access to them at all times, and that includes either that we have to give them proper doses of fluids, medications, blood, plasma products. It's important to have a uninterrupted and continuous access to the IV system to administer those particular medications or fluids, so we can't have systems that are kinking and stopping that flow because that can affect patient care.
The human IV set just can't be relied on to get the fluids to the patient. If they walk close to the source of the fluids, there's extra tubing laying around. If they just turn around 2 or 3 times, they kink the tubing, shut off the flow, and so the animal from that point on is getting no fluids. Besides that, the tubing is right there for a small animal to grab a hold of, chew, break into, and then the fluids end up all over the cage, not in the patient.
Because most veterinarians and technicians desire continuous IV fluid therapy for their patients, International WIN designs and manufactures unique intravenous fluid delivery sets here in the USA that enable vets to administer needed fluids to animal patients of all sizes.
International WIN has been created to maximize the ability to get fluids to sick animals. I was a large animal veterinary surgeon. There was no way to give large quantities of fluid safely to large animal, horses, cattle, and so I set out to find a way to do it.
This patented Flex-coil swivel system mounts to the top center of a cage, administering fluids while enabling the animal to move around its enclosure with just the right length of tubing at any given time. Now, patients can spin, jump, and roll without interrupting the flow of fluids, day and night.
The fluid's coming out of a bag usually. It's going through a pump, being transferred over to the swivel device, and from there it goes into the coil and makes its way to a vein in the leg or in the neck of the patient. The system for small animals leads to quicker recovery. It leads to more precise flow of fluids to the animal, and it saves time on behalf of the veterinarian.
International WIN is dedicated to improving the welfare of animals of all sizes. Its STAT Large Animal IV system allows for the simultaneous delivery of drugs, plasma, blood, and electrolytes to horses who remain free to move around or lie down in their enclosures and barn stalls.
The STAT Large Animal IV set works on the principle of having a swivel up in the ceiling that freely turns and allows the bag fluid to swing around with the animal. The system is out of its eyesight, so they really don't even know that it's there. Here's a state-of-the-art way to be sure to get fluids and drugs to an animal.
The traditional tubing, we would constantly get patients getting tangled up in it. I have to stop what I'm doing and untangle, usually disconnect the patient from the fluids. It's interrupting their care, it's interrupting my workflow. We've been using the Flex-coil Swivel system, and it's really improved patient care and my ability to touch all of the animals. If everybody's fluids are being delivered easily, that's one less thing to have to worry about.
From a management standpoint, it's much more cost-effective and efficient for us. Your technicians will love you for it. The patients are much more comfortable. They're getting the maximum amount of fluids that they need while they're here in the hospital.
Our fluid pumps have alarms in them that when the lines get kinked, they start telling us that the flow has been interrupted. Those pumps are not going off, so we know that the fluid therapy is being delivered as wanted. I think it's a vast improvement over the systems that we've had before.
As the need for these products becomes apparent and more veterinarians are using them, we're able to lower the cost, which are going to entice many more veterinarians to take advantage of it. The message is to get the animal comfortable, to get the drugs and fluids that it needs, and to get them reliably. And there's no other system that allows that to happen. It's important for the owner to learn about this because they need to be able to say for their animal, this system I've seen and I would like to have it be used on my animal.
Providing adequate IV fluid therapy to sick and injured animals is just as important as it is in humans. Ask your veterinarian if they provide comfortable and soothing IV fluid therapy to their patients with products from the leader in IV therapy systems, International WIN. For more information and product descriptions, go to internationalwin.com.